This is one of sport's great proving grounds, a gateway to glory where heroes are made.
Brilliant, absolutely first class.
29 tournaments spanning 18 countries. It's a 10-month campaign to determine the very brightest prospects in golf.
I don't believe it! How about that?
Along the way, a chance for the class of 2023 to expand horizons and sample life on tour.
Always nice to experience new cultures.
I love that noise.
Cheers, boy. Enjoy.
Finish the season in the top 20 of the Road to Mallorca rankings and secure a golden ticket to the DP World Tour. That's the dream shared by all who compete on the Challenge Tour. Our 2023 campaign teed off in early February in sunny South Africa. Fast forward 5 months and we've already hit the halfway mark of the season. We've traversed 3 continents, travelled more than 25,000 kilometres to 8 different countries and crowned 14 different champions. As expected, South Africa dominated early on, 3 winners from 4 events on home soil, but of late there's been something of an Italian renaissance. 3 winners in the last 5 events, with Lorenzo Scalise the most recent to plant his country's flag at the summit of a leaderboard. Now we turn to our second consecutive week in France and the 10th staging of Le Vaudreuil Challenge. A chance for the players to add their name to the list of winners, and for Scalise, there are hopes of yet more Italian success.
It's awesome. I mean, I love the fact that we just keep pushing each other and we gotta keep doing it. I mean, there's a lot more Italian playing on Challenge Tour than 3, so let's see if everyone can have a saying, you know, this year. That would be amazing. But as long as we keep pushing each other, we're a good camaraderie, so I think it's gonna be good.
Having hit the halfway mark of the campaign, fatigue is becoming more of a factor, and some time off is on the cards for Scalise.
You know, I've spoken about this in the past. It just comes with the maturity of the player to understand when to take breaks, when to maybe push a little bit more. And, you know, I'm pushing these next 2 weeks. And then I want to take a good break to kind of reset things. As you said, midway, still a lot of golf left.
There were tears of joy for Stuart Manley in Brittany last week as the 44-year-old ground out Challenge Tour win number 4. The Welshman clearly still getting his head around a return to the winner's circle.
It slowly sunk in. Yesterday I was still on a high. Today, obviously I'm still seeing a lot of the guys I saw last week, and they've all obviously been congratulating me, so it's still quite fresh, but it is slowly sinking in now, thankfully. It meant so much just because of the way I played on the weekend. I didn't play great. I really wanted to win. I stuck in with the guys who they were playing great, but I hung around and I just seemed to really grind it out. It's such a grinding golf course. It's a beautiful golf course, but it's so hard, and I didn't quite have my A game. And then to get the win, not playing my best, was just so, you know, so nice. You know, the appetite is still there. The love of the grind, the love of the competition. Camaraderie with the guys, you know, so many good guys out here. Yeah, I just love it.
Great to see that even in his mid-40s, desire still burning strong in Stuart Manley. And another good week for him, or Lorenzo Scalise, could still see them push into a top 3 made up of Casey Jarvis, Manuel Elvira, and our rankings leader Frenchman Hugo Cousseau. Fittingly, it's back to France we turn now. 4 great days ahead, and guiding us through the opening round at Le Vaudreuil is Kit Alexander.
Lorenzo Scalise, number 4 in the Road to Mallorca, and he made a fast start this week. This fine approach shot at the opener set up a birdie, and it would be 1 of 5 on the way to an opening 68. Stuart Manley picked up right where he left off last week. Coming off the back of the win, and so nearly an ace there on the 3rd. He would make the 2 and a 71 for the Welshman. Jamie Rutherford already had an eagle and 4 birdies to this point. This his second into the par 4 16th. The beauty would set up another birdie, but he would bogey 17 in a 66. Gregory Bordy, 4-time DP World Tour winner. This on 17 was the last of 6 birdies for him in a bogey-free 66. Christopher Feldborg's had a bit of a slow start to the season, still hunting his first top 10. Hit this lovely approach into 6 though, the 30-year-old. He would convert it for the birdie, out in 32 and back in 33, so a first round of 65 for Feldborg.
I think this course suits my game pretty good. So as long as I stay aggressive towards the pins and from the tee, I think it's going to work out pretty good.
So Christopher Feldborg feeling good after the first round in France. Leading the way, though, only by a shot over Jamie Rutherford and home favourite Gregory Bordy, with Messrs Farr and Ford a further shot back. Still, lots of golf to play before the winner is crowned on Sunday. So who would emerge to mount a challenge on day 2? Here's Kit again.
Gregory Bordy already dropped a shot on the second and out of position here on 3. He did save his par though, unlucky for it not to drop. It was a roller coaster round for him, 6 birdies, 5 bogeys in a 71. David Drysdale had opened with a 68. He was going along nicely on day 2 as well. This undoubtedly the highlight of that second round. A wonderful shot to set up an eagle on 17 and a 69. Alex Fitzpatrick had already had an eagle on 8 and took advantage of the final par 5 17, a birdie here, 69, 67, and a good start for him. Ollie Farr chipping from just off the edge of the green on the par 5 8th. This is third shot. He would convert that for a third birdie of the day. It would be a 69 and an 8 under total. And Darren Fickhart, 48 years old, vastly experienced South African. And he hit a lovely shot into the second here. One of 7 birdies in a second successive 68.
Absolutely, I'm very, very excited. I played a few tournaments back home. I was in the mix at Sun City a couple of weeks ago and felt those juices flowing again, which is nice, and I'm going to feel it again this weekend. I'm very excited.
Sweden's Hugo Townsend playing only his second professional event. He had 3 birdies in a row from the 4th and came home in 32, including an eagle at 17 for a best of the day 64.
I mean, it was trickier than yesterday. It was just blowing a little bit more. So, I mean, some holes got easier because you had some downwind, but some of those longer par 4s into the wind, and you got to hit a good tee ball, and then, I mean, it gets a little tricky.
So at the halfway stage, it's a congested leaderboard. Just 2 shots separating the top 10. Townsend 64 leaving him ahead of the chasing trio of Fickhart, Farr and Fitzpatrick. The life of a pro golfer isn't for the faint-hearted, but it does require plenty of determination and discipline.
Obviously, we don't have access to gyms every week. With my trainer, Garth Milne, we have our different programs for situations where there isn't a gym, and that's why all of Garth's players travel with those bands, and that way we can still get the work in that we need to. I've got 3 different programs that I can do. Obviously, it's not anything that's going to make me tired or that's going to create fatigue or anything like that. It's just more so activation, mobility. But diet, on the other hand, is a challenge because I'm a big advocate for more like a carnivore type diet, and I found that works the best for me. But Europeans like their carbs and their bread and all of those things, so that's been a challenge. But we just manage as best we can. No, it's been good. Prep has been done, but it's obviously been the 7th week in a row, so it's body's feeling Feeling good, but a bit tired.
Yeah, perfect. So what time are you off tomorrow?
12:50.
Yeah, perfect. So in the morning we do the morning activation then. And then obviously, if you have to forego it, then obviously we're off early on Friday morning. So then you can do your workout on Friday afternoon.
When I started working with Garth, I thought I was in pretty good shape. I mean, I've always loved training and I've been training since a young age. And then for like the first 6 months, all we did was mobility. We like left the weights, left everything, just mobility training, because that's something I've never done before. Once we improved that, I actually saw a lot of like a bigger improvement in my strength and my speed. Yeah, so these exercises, a lot of them are very like focused work, because it's more about feeling the movement than just doing the exercise. And a lot of times you'll feel if you don't use the correct muscles, you can't actually do the exercise. So it kind of forces you to focus on those areas, which is also nice.
It's been a steep learning curve on the course too. Vorster's leaned on the experience of his compatriots.
The courses have definitely been challenging, and I mean the guys are really good. Winning scores are always in the double figures, under par. Hayden Porteous and Brandon Stone, I met them for the first time, and obviously growing up I was looking up to them, so it's quite cool to play around with them and get to know them. In terms of the level of golf of the Challenge Tour, it's unbelievable. I think you're just always getting better here because the competition is so good. If you can get through the Challenge Tour, I think you'll be okay on any tour in the world.
At just 21, Martin Vorster looks ready to become yet another South African success story. Up next, Nathan Kimsey on his 2022 win.
And obviously that sort of vaulted me right, kind of up there in the rankings.
And we find out who's set to follow in his footsteps this year in France. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Golf PGA France du Vaudreuil, a destination that's been hosting Challenge Tour events for over a decade now.
There was this candidacy for the Ryder Cup, for the French Ryder Cup in 2018. They called me and say, well, the French Federation missed a tournament in the contract for the Ryder Cup. So what do you think? Could your company, could your golf organize a Challenge Tour tournament? And I almost say yes immediately. I say, yeah, that's a good thing for us. The reputation of the tournament is that, well, we are a bit of a lucky charm because we have good winners. Ryan Fox, Alexander Bjork, Aaron Rai, people like that. They did pick up a good pace and won on the men tours. So we're proud of that, and we hope it will go forever.
Yes, an impressive roll of honour indeed at this event, and a host of players were queuing up to join that exclusive list of champions at the halfway mark. Darren Fickhart among those trying to overhaul the leader Hugo Townsend on moving day. To see how they fared, let's rejoin Kit Alexander.
Ollie Farr already has 3 Challenge Tour wins on his CV. Hunting a 4th here in France, and it was a good start, excellent approach here into the first hole. He would convert it to join Hugo Townsend at the top. A bogey at 6 and a birdie at 8, and the Welshman was out in 34. Thomas Gouveia started the day at -3, but he was already 5 under for his round to this point. When it's your day, it's your day. An excellently judged approach from the rough here at 12. The Portuguese player would roll it home for another birdie. And he would go on to sign for a 67. Darren Ficart was 2 under for the day until a double bogey on 9 and bogey on 10 halted his progress. He did birdie 11, and this peach set up another chance on 12. Before that putt, Ollie Farr had a chance for his birdie on 12, also having just birdied 11. Found the right edge, back-to-back birdies, and it would be 2 more birdies and a double bogey on the way home for a 69 for him. No doubt about Ficart's birdie effort on 12, dead centre of the hole. A bogey on 13, eagle on 14, and a birdie on 15. Then a trio of pars for a 67. Jonathan Caldwell, a winner as recently as 2021 on the DP World Tour, and he finished like a train. Eagle on 14, birdie on 17, and another here on 18 in a 67.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, yeah. It's been a while. I've been playing pretty dreadful for the whole season, so it looks like things are starting to turn the corner. I've been working hard, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting going tomorrow.
And confirmation of that 3-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. Lots of experience on show. The top 7 players separated by just 2 shots. It's still anyone's guess who'll be lifting the trophy come Sunday. A year ago, Nathan Kimsey edged a thrilling 4-hole playoff with Robin C.O. Siegrist.
Kimsey up first, and to put the pressure on C.O. Siegrist. Fantastic from Kimsey. Little fist pump, and now all the pressure is on the Frenchman.
I think, like, in my head at that point, I was just thinking, like, oh, that's to extend the playoff, because, you know, he had 12 foot, he had 10 foot or something. So I'm just like, you know, kind of typical match play kind of thing. Whenever you've grown up, I was always taught, like, you know, you're expecting the guy to hole it or to get up and down, or, you know, it's the hole's not done until it's done kind of thing.
So to keep the playoff going and to go to a 5th playoff hole, C.O. Siegrist needs to hold this. Oh, when he lips out, disappointment from the crowd, but finally, Nathan Kimsey is a winner on the Challenge Tour. It took 4 playoff holes to get there, but he takes the title.
Obviously, I'd had a reasonable start like before that and had some good results. So I'd already put a decent amount of points up, and then obviously that sort of vaulted me right kind of up there in the rankings.
After a grand final win in Mallorca, he finished the year as number 1. But who would follow in Kimsey's footsteps and take a giant leap towards realising their dreams of promotion to the DP World Tour? Kit Alexander takes up the story.
Ollie Farr birdied the opening hole yesterday. Will have his work cut out for him from the right-hand rough today, though. Oh, but he's well up to the challenge, just carries that false front and releases it up just below the hole. So Ollie Farr with the chance to break out of that 3-way tie for the lead early. Birdie putt to move to 11 under par. And it is first blood the Welshman as he takes the solo lead on the first hole. Jamie Rutherford had an encouraging rookie campaign last year. And a very good week in France. Birdie on 8 moves him to -8. Now the leader Farr looking to really apply some pressure. He's just made a birdie on 6. Oh, well, I think we can give him that for 1 on 7 as well. Big putt for Ficart here. Gritty par save. All the more important with Ollie Farr in close, and we can confirm he did roll that one in for birdie. Lorenzo Scalise, winner of the Cascada Golf Challenge a couple of weeks ago, and keeping the good times rolling here. Birdie on 12 for him, and he goes to 8 under. Darren Ficart, 3 back, has to start making something happen. Oh, and that could be the putt that gets things going for him. Read the break and the speed beautifully, so Ficart moves to 12 under. One behind Ficart. Eagle putt on 14. He's got this for the outright lead. Brilliant. All change at the top, and the South African is our new leader. Richard McAvoy, a winner here in 2018. It's not been the final round he would have hoped for. But that one does drop for birdie on 16. Another one at -8. Well, what a charge it has been from Darren Ficart through the middle of this back nine. 4 under for the previous 5 holes. He's got to save par here on 16 with this, though. Oh, and in dead weight. He wasn't wasting any energy with that one.
It had turned into a match play situation between Ficart and Farr, who, after watching Ficart escape with a par on 16, found himself struggling to make a bogey. That missed putt meant a double bogey for the Welshman, and with it went his chances of victory. It gave Ficart a 3-shot advantage, with just 2 holes left to play. And despite Farr's birdie on the penultimate hole, it left the South African with the luxury of 4 putts to close out the win.
So Ficart so nearly has the job done. And he just cozies that one down. Didn't really give it a run, but very understandable in the situation. And 11 years after his only previous Challenge Tour win in Saint-Omer, Darren Ficart is the champion once again in France.
The final leaderboard shows another solid week for Scalise, who finishes 5th alongside Ewan Walker and 2018 champion Richard McAvoy. But this time, the silverware goes to South Africa's Darren Ficart.
You know, when you have a battle like that, it's so much more rewarding. You know, you feel like wow, I won it. It wasn't given to me, and Ollie definitely brought that to the day, and yeah, it's definitely very rewarding. Very excited. You know, I haven't won in like 2 years, and to come out here and win on such a beautiful, challenging golf course is awesome. You know, it's always awesome to win.
And so a look at the Road to Mallorca rankings, where Lorenzo Scalise moves above Casey Jarvis into 3rd spot, with Frenchman Hugo Cousseau still at the summit, and Ben Follett-Smith and Brandon Stone making marginal gains at the expense of Andrea Pavan and JJ Senecal, though there's precious little daylight between them. A 10th-place elevation sees Jamie Rutherford upwardly mobile into 16th spot. Darren Ficart's first Challenge Tour success sees him climb a giant 88 places into that critical 20th position. Remember, the top 20 at the end of the year will gain playing rights for the DP World Tour. And so ends our 2-week stint in France. We'll return to these shores later in the year, but next up, our sights are set on the Italian Challenge. So join us next time when the pursuit of promotion continues.